Hey guys, how are you doing? Very well. In today's video I'm going to talk about an article that has recently popped up. I've been sent it a few times here and there over the past couple of days, and I'm sure some of you guys may have seen this article. If not, I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to read some of it to you guys, and I thought it'd be quite a good discussional topic so we can talk about how we feel about it. And I'd love to know your feedback in the comments down below. I'd love to know how you feel about this article, how you feel about this girl that I'm about to talk about. Yeah, I've done a few videos like this before, and I don't know, it's fun to talk about stuff that is tattoo related, but not so much about like the art, and more about, you know, the way people get tattooed and the way people treat tattoos and stuff like that. It's fun to just cover all bases on this channel, honestly. Like, you name it, tattoo related, I've probably talked about it. What I'm gonna do is I am actually gonna try and use my table, my brand new table. I don't know if you guys watched my video about my new hand tattoo, but during filming the video about my new hand tattoo, I had a table delivered. I put it all together, it's all there, but I think I might use it to prop my laptop up on here actually, instead of using my phone, instead of being like holding my phone and being like rude about it and stuff. I'm gonna see if I can move that over here and put my laptop on it. I don't think I've got enough space, but I'm gonna try, so let's try that. Okay, so I have my little table in front of me with my laptop. Oh, that took up the whole frame. I unfortunately can't fit everything in because of the way my lens is. Like, my camera's as far back as it can be, but it's one of those lenses that kind of zooms in automatically, and I can't zoom in or zoom out. It's like a stationary lens, so yeah, this is unfortunately as good as it's gonna get. But just take my word for it, I'm looking at my laptop down below. So this article is from BBC News. There's definitely a few other news publication things that have grabbed this story and I don't know, rewritten it or copied and pasted, I don't know. But this is from BBC News, and this is the first article I saw on this situation. And what the situation is this girl tattooed her face so she couldn't get a normal job. But yeah, I haven't actually read through this article myself. I just saw the title and I quickly scanned through it. I didn't read it. I kind of just went through and see what pictures there were and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, this is gonna make such a cool video to talk about this. As you guys know, I am moderately tattooed. I would never call myself heavily tattooed because I have quite a few spaces here and there, you know. I've got some gaps in my arm here and there. I've got this full sleeve. Recently just got my hand fully tattooed. Most of my back's covered. My lower legs are starting to fill out, but the upper half is quite bare for the moment. But yeah, I'm not heavily tattooed in no way, shape or form. I would say moderately. So yeah, I'm obviously going to be a little bit biased towards tattooed people and this girl because it's something that I believe in, support, what have you. So if you come here for a drag match, then it's not going to happen. The article starts with the title, which is "I tattooed my face so I couldn't get a normal job," and then there is a picture of this girl. Her name is Kaylee Peach, and yeah, let's read a bit of this. So it says, Kaylee Peach was so determined to become a successful tattoo artist that on her first day as an apprentice she got the word curse etched over her eye. I hate when articles say that. You'll notice that in a lot of websites, news articles or whatever, BuzzFeed, Lad Bible, whatever, they always say etched. Like, I don't understand. Why are you saying etched? I mean, I know what etched means, but like, of all words, could you not just say tattooed over her eye? I mean, she didn't even get it tattooed over her eye. It's over her eyebrow. But okay. Anyway, she thought her tattooed face would put off most employers and leave her no choice but to pursue her ambition. Now aged 26 with 60% of her body inked, Kaylee, who is from Erridington, oh my god, butchering, in Birmingham, explains how her risk has so far paid off and how tattooing has changed her life. So let's just discuss that a little bit for a minute. There's probably a chance that she'll delve deeper later in the article. That always happens for me, but I like to do like first impressions, and you know, I'm looking at this with pretty much fresh eyes. Okay, so in my opinion, that's a bold move, a very bold move. But I can see where she's coming from. Just give me a minute before you're like, oh my god, Lauren, what the fuck? Just give me a minute. I can see where she's coming from. So the only thing I can relate it to, and it's nowhere close because tattoos is in its own little lane, obviously. But there are people out there that need an extreme thing to keep them going, to keep them on track, to keep them, you know, motivated. And the one thing I can think of is diet or weight loss. You'll see these people that will get extreme surgeries, like the gastric bands, you know, like they'll maybe be on a healthy diet and then maybe, you know, working towards losing weight, but they just can't get that last, you know, 3 stone or whatever that is in pounds. I don't know, I can't work that out. Also, you can get like liposuction that really helps kickstart you know, losing weight and what have you. There is this YouTuber that I watch now and then called Emily Susanna, and she basically had a little bit of liposuction, and she was like, I'm doing this because I know it will help me stick to my diet, because if I mess up my diet and I put all the weight back on, I'm gonna, you know, I would have lost out on all this money that I've spent. You know, people do that. They do something extreme to get to where they want to be. Let's keep that in mind. I think that's a good way of looking at it. Again, tattoos aren't the exact same, but you know, it's quite an extreme measure, kind of, sort of, to get a face tattoo. I'm not against face tattoos, by the way, let me just throw that out there. I very much like them. I would very much get one myself, so I'm not anti-face tattoo. And by the looks of things also, from this picture, she looks like she has quite a bit of coverage on her already, so it's not like she had no tattoos and then was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a face tattoo type thing. Like, she has her arms tattooed, it looks like she has her neck tattooed as well. So she's gone about things in the right way, in my opinion. Again, this is all from first impression. Let's carry on. There's a little thing here that makes me so sad, and it says, Dad said I couldn't be a bridesmaid. I've recently done a video on tattooed brides and how there's not much representation, and I guess her dad said you can't be a bridesmaid because, well, she is covered in tattoos and you're not, and that's not something you see all the time. And especially if she's had her face tattooed and stuff, again, that is something a lot of people don't see all the time. Again, us guys that look at tattoos every day, we're just like, oh, that's normal, face tattoo, meh, whatever, you know. Like, it's not that extreme to us, but to people that aren't exposed to it all the time, it can be a bit overwhelming for someone, you know. And understandable, but still, shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Okay, so let's carry on reading. So she goes on to say, I definitely get some looks, you forget you've got them, so you're like, why are they staring at me? I can understand how that feels. I get asked about the tattoos on my face quite a lot. I think people view throat and face tattoos as more extreme. You do get bad criticism, like people say you look a bit thuggish, it's intimidating, or it's a bit much. My family isn't the biggest fan of them. My dad got married and I just had a big one on my chest, and he said I wasn't allowed to be a bridesmaid, but he's a lot more accepting now that I do it as a job. I've actually tattooed him. It was hard because I could tell I was hurting him, so after I finished I got him to write Dad in his handwriting and got him to tattoo it on me. Okay, so let's talk about, you know, what she said about face and throat tattoos being a bit extreme, which, yeah, again, like I was saying, if you're not exposed to it that much, it can be extreme to some people, and people might be, you know, like she said, intimidated and see you in a way that you're not. By the sounds of things, she seems like a really sweet girl. You know, she doesn't seem thuggish, she doesn't seem like a horrible person. But again, people take people as face value and they judge a book by its cover. So I can understand why she's having, you know, looks and this kind of judgment. And as for her dad, I'm glad her dad come around, honestly, because once a tattoo is on someone, like, it's there, you know, you can't change it, so you either accept it or just keep quiet about it, you know. Anyway, okay, so let's scroll down a bit here, and it says, I used to think I was cursed. Okay. I got my first tattoo when I was 18. It was my best friend's surname on my ankle. He got my name too. Now I'd say 60% of my body is covered. I got my first face tattoo on my first day as an apprentice tattoo artist when I was 24. Basically, I got it so that I couldn't get a normal job, so I'd have to persevere with what I was doing. I got cursed above my eyebrow. I used to be quite critical of myself and see the glass half empty. I used to think things happened to me for a reason, and I would punish myself for things mentally. Then I got a rose on one side of my face, which is to do with romance and beauty, then the leaves on the other side, which symbolise new beginnings in my life. That's cool, I like that reasoning. Before I started tattooing, I lived above a pub and I was drinking and partying a lot. You had to walk through the pub to get to the flat upstairs and everyone would be like, come down, have a drink, and I'd end up staying out. When I started tattooing, I decided to go straight edge for 6 months, and since then my life has changed for the better. I took the full plunge and quit my day job and went straight into an apprenticeship. To start off with, you earn literally next to nothing, but now my boss says I'm one of the busiest junior artists he's ever seen. It's a lot of customer care and how you treat people. It's not just your work they come for, it's the environment you work in and you as a person. Now I'm earning enough to be comfortable. As you get more experience, you earn more and put your prices up. You charge by the hour or the piece, and 50% goes to me and 50% to the place I work for, the business and materials. It's like renting a chair. You have to apply for your tattoo license, and I'm self-employed, so I have to look after my own account. That is all very fair. So basically she has turned her life around basically. You know, she used to be like a party girl, went out a lot, went drinking, and then she kind of did like a 180 or a 360, whatever it is, and now she's kind of, I don't know if she's straight edge still, but she said she went straight edge for like 6 months, which is really good. You know, from going from like a party girl, someone that would spend a lot of time in the pub drinking whatever, and then to go to straight edge, that's really cool. Like, she's really turned her life around like that, and there's nothing wrong with going out and drinking and partying. I'm not against that at all, but she's kind of, you know, gave herself a new life and a new career, and she's really stuck at it, and that's really cool in my opinion. Like, you got to give her that. You may be against what she has done, you know, to say, hey, I got a face tattoo because like I want my job to be this type thing, but you got to give her the fact that, you know, she has turned her life around, and now she, like she said, she's self-employed and she has to do her own accounts, which is what I have to do, and it's a lot of fun. Not. We can see her face tattoos here. I like these. I really do like the one above her eyebrow. I love that so much. So it says up here, I help people in pain, and then she carries on saying, I absolutely love tattooing. Your mind is never stagnant. You are always creating, learning and meeting new people. You're constantly talking to people, and when they are in pain, they open up and talk about their problems. It's about making people comfortable. Some people will be very nervous and I help them through it. Some of the stories behind some of the people I tattoo are heartbreaking or really joyous. It makes you see more clearly in life what matters. It makes you appreciate things a lot more. I have a lot more of a positive outlook on life now. I help a lot of people who are really self-conscious about parts of their body or stretch marks or scars from self-harming. If you have something really pretty on a part of your body you have negative feelings about, it can make you feel so much more confident and happy. Yes! Oh my god, I'm so glad there's a tattoo artist out here that recognizes this as well. This is, you know, the type of thing I talk about on my channel quite a bit. I always say that if you're, you know, not so happy with a body part, sometimes a tattoo can really help you with that. And I have read, you know, comments from my subscribers on various videos here and there where they have said the exact same thing. They've gone from hating their like thighs to loving their thighs and loving their legs and their arms and their stomach. Like, tattoos can do so much for you. And I've had comments, I had one recently actually, that was like, the only thing that can make you self-confident is yourself. And sometimes no, like sometimes you are your own worst enemy and there's nothing you can really do. But if, you know, if you treat a tattoo kind of like a plaster and you put that on something you're not so confident about, it is such a good fix, and you know, you get a beautiful piece of art out of it, and it can just do so much. And I'm like so glad that Kaylee recognises that as well. So that's awesome that she's talked about that, and I'm glad that BBC News has put that out there as well. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are not into tattoos that have read that and been like, yeah, alright then, whatever. And also with the self-harming scars, again, I have touched upon that a few times here and there. I don't really talk about it too much because I know it can be quite triggering. Sorry if this is triggering for you. But again, you can, you know, obviously cover up scars from self-harm or surgery scars. You know, people do go through intense surgeries and sometimes people don't particularly like the way the scar looks, or they see it as a negative thing. But if you put a tattoo over it, you can kind of take, it's kind of like making lemonade out of lemons. You know, you've been through a bad situation or a scary situation, and then you kind of make it into lemonade and you get a beautiful tattoo out of it. So I'm glad that has been talked about in this article. And then she carries on saying, growing up, I was a very timid and quiet girl. Tattooing has definitely given me more confidence. It's just the way you hold yourself when you've got a certain part of your life on your skin. I started doing modelling when I was 19 and it kicked off in a way that I couldn't believe. I was in a music video and a Skin Deep magazine. There was so much attention and you get bad criticism as well as good. But I just take it on the chin and I think I've got this. I love that. The tattoos on my face make me unique. Even when you get old and wrinkled, it makes your skin a bit prettier. It's a nice hobby to have, to collect pictures on your skin. You can look back and remember when you got that, where you were, and what it means. Yes, I love this. This girl is my kind of girl. Oh my gosh. But yeah, what she's saying is so true. I'm glad she also brought up the whole, like, I'm sure you've all had it. I've had it multiple times. I've discussed this multiple times. But that question or that saying of what will you look like when you're older, oh my god. I'm glad she brought that up because there's probably, you know, I don't think BBC News has comments, but I'm sure this has been posted on other articles, and with some news article places like Daily Mail, they have a comment section down below, and you'll always see on those comment sections when it comes to tattoo related articles, there'll be tons of people saying, what about when she gets older? I think most of us will just be happy that we're alive, you know, like when you get to that kind of age where your skin does start to get older, wrinkly and stuff like that, like that's when you're just happy to be alive and functioning and just, you know, going about your everyday life. Anyway, scrolling down, lovely photo of her again. Oh, well, that's it. Oh my god, that was like the shortest article. Okay, I was hoping there would be so much more to talk about. Oh. Let's just round this up. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on Kaylee's story. Would you ever take extreme measures like that, like to get your face tattooed, or would you take any other kind of extreme measures to kickstart something? I'd be very intrigued to know. Honestly, the only thing that makes me feel a little bit about the whole situation is the fact that she got it on her first day of her apprentice, or one of her face tattoos on the first day of her apprenticeship. That to me is a little bit scary because it's just like, well, you know, she hasn't even been there a day type thing and she's just jumped on in and done it. You know, like when you're in a new job, you kind of have this like honeymoon phase for a good few months. So, you know, I personally would have left it for a couple of months, but each to their own. Honestly, it's worked out for her, so that's great, honestly. But I personally, if I was in her situation, I would have left it a couple of months just to make sure I really do like, you know, tattooing and being an apprentice and learning to tattoo and stuff like that, just to be safe, you know. But I'm quite a cautionary person. This is coming from someone who literally wanted a hand tattoo for years and has only just done it because I was just umming and ahhing about the whole thing. So I'm quite a cautionary person, but you know, this is 2019. Tattoos are becoming more and more accepted. Again, when they're very, very visible like hers, you can get comments, judgments and what have you, because not everyone is exposed to it, like I've said. But I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. How long would you wait to get a face tattoo if you were a tattoo artist? And do you think what she'd done here is a smart move or not so much a smart move? Keep it polite in the comments because, you know, she is one of us, so to say. Like, she's all about body confidence and stuff like that, so let's keep it as positive as possible. And I will leave relative links down below to news articles. If I can find her Instagram, I will leave a link down below to that also. Yeah, until my next video, I hope you guys are all doing very, very well, and until then, bye.